kale is so trendy these days that it has its own hashtag, its own holiday. National Kale Day is on October 4th, and even its own online university, Kale U. Now, all this attention on kale can be viewed one of two ways, as either an annoying food trend or as something totally awesome, because rarely is something hip and good for you. So I say bring on the kale chips, the kale smoothies, and even a kale Caesar salad, Becky.
That's right. It does sound a little trendy, but you know, kale is really sturdy and it stands up really nicely to that Caesar dressing.
Good point.
We're just gonna make it a little healthier along the way.
Ah,
all right.
It's an opportunity.
Yes, but we're not giving up on the croutons.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we gotta have the croutons. So we're gonna swap the usual white bread for whole grain bread. So I have 3 ounces altogether. I'll just cut up the last slice here. And you know, swapping the whole grain bread for white bread gets rid of some of those overly processed grains, gives us some extra fiber, some B vitamins.
And it has more flavor, standing up to the kale and the Caesar dressing.
Exactly right. So I'm just cutting this into 1/2-inch cubes. I have just a tablespoon of olive oil, and that's really enough to help it brown and crisp up nicely in the oven. 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. All right, so we just want those bread cubes to get nicely coated with oil. And I'll put them on our baking sheet. And we'll put these in a 350-degree oven for 15 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. All right, so let's move on to the kale.
The main ingredient.
We have 12 ounces of curly kale. I'm just gonna finish chopping it up here. You just wanna get rid of this big, tough rib that's running around.
Very fibrous.
Yes, no one wants to eat that, so you just wanna trim that off. I'm just gonna chop this into 1-inch pieces here. So I'll do sort of rough, lengthwise cuts. So now I'll just go across it with some horizontal cuts.
Making it fork friendly.
That's right. About 1-inch size is good. Okay, that looks good. Into the bowl. Now I have some water here, and it's actually warm water. We're gonna be soaking the kale in, and we found that that softens the leaves a little bit, makes them a little more tender.
Yeah, because I've seen recipes that take it and they massage the kale to sort of break down some of the cell walls and make it more tender.
Right, this is gonna do the same thing. We want water that's between 110 degrees and 115 degrees.
And it also washes away some of the bitter compounds found in kale.
That's right. So let's give that a little swish. Kale can be dirty. It can have a lot of grit on it. So we just want to swish that around, and then we're going to let that soak for about 10 minutes. While our kale finishes soaking, we'll make the dressing. We're using 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. A lot of Caesar salad dressings are based on egg, but we found that the kale is so sturdy it really needed a thicker dressing, so we decided to do a mayonnaise-based dressing.
Which is also easier.
So we're not using all mayonnaise. We decided to use half mayonnaise and half low-fat yogurt.
Oh, so it's a little bit tangy.
Also makes it a little bit lighter, a little bit less fat. 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise and 3 tablespoons of yogurt. Tablespoon of olive oil. Just a little bit of fat. We found that we really didn't need that much at all. Tablespoon of lemon juice for a little bit of tang. Even more tang with 2 teaspoons of white wine vinegar. They both bring something different to the table. The lemon's a little bit fruity, the vinegar's tangy. 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce that you find all the time in Caesar dressings, right? That's a really common ingredient. 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. So really, aside from the egg and low-fat yogurt, this is a pretty classic Caesar dressing here. We have 1 garlic clove minced up, and a half teaspoon each of salt and pepper. And then we have a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. We found that the Parmesan is so potent, we really don't need that much at all to give it that nice cheese flavor. And then last but not least, we have a couple of anchovies. We have 3 fillets here that we rinsed off, so we'll just chop these up nice and fine.
Crucial for a good Caesar dressing.
Oh, I think so. Now we'll just whisk that up. You see I have a gigantic bowl here.
I know. Actually, I love making salads in big bowls, so you have lots of room to toss and you don't make a mess.
Right, we're gonna put the kale right in here, so it's gonna be one last bowl to wash. If we were to do this in a small bowl and then we have to transfer it in, it doesn't really make any sense. So, nice big bowl. Okay, then the last thing is just a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm gonna whisk in at the end here.
Not a lot.
Nope, we're trying to keep the fat level down. And we'll whisk it in at the end here so it gets nice and emulsified.
Ooh, it smells good.
I know, all the garlic and the lemon and everything. It's been 10 minutes now. Our kale's had its nice little bath. Whenever you're draining greens like this, what you don't want to do is dump it into a colander, because then all the grit is going to get right back onto your greens.
Right, you gotta lift the lettuce out of the water.
That's right. So lift it up, let any water soak out like that. And then we have a lot of kale here. We have 16 cups, so we'll do this in batches. So if it's wet at all, I'm just going to take some paper towels here and give it a little blot. After it's bathed, we'll dry it off.
Right, because it's going right into the dressing, so you don't want too much water in the dressing or you'll water down the flavor.
Exactly. So we'll give that a good spin. Do you want to do some? It's fun, I know.
I just love working the break.
All right.
Cheap thrills.
Yeah, you know, get them where you can.
Exactly.
In that goes. And we'll just finish up the rest here. So I'm going to put that right in. I'll just toss it up. So you can see why I needed a nice big bowl here, because that's a lot of salad.
It is a lot of salad. You know, growing up, I had a German grandfather, and he had a huge garden, and he grew one thing, kale.
Let me guess. Yeah.
We used to visit him, and I'd come home with bunches of kale in our trunk. We ate it all the time.
Love it. All right, that's looking pretty good to me.
That looks delicious.
Yeah. So we're gonna put this in the fridge for 20 minutes.
Oh, wow, so that's very unlike a traditional salad.
Right, and you can actually leave it in there for up to 6 hours. You know, these kale leaves are so sturdy, they can really handle the cold.
Yeah.
We wanna chill the leaves down a little bit because remember they were in that warm water, so we definitely don't want a warm salad.
So that salad really shrank in the refrigerator.
Yeah, it's only been 20 minutes, but the dressing is really thick and a little bit heavy, so it kind of weighs those leaves down a little bit and it kind of settles into the bowl.
All right.
Before we eat, I'm gonna add another 1/4 cup of Parmesan just for some extra cheesiness.
Oh, that's looking good.
Oh, that's gonna be a nice lunch. We can't forget those yummy croutons. I think I'll toss half in and then I'll save half for sprinkling.
Ready.
Good plan? That's my idea of a nice lunch.
Yeah, this is really your kind of food, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. Now we'll give this a little garnish on top.
You can tell it's going to be good because the kale's not sticking straight up because it's softened a bit. You can taste the lemon, the little bit of the anchovy, the olive oil.
The garlic, the Parmesan. So good. The whole grain bread is really nice with the kale.
Kale Caesar. I like it. This is delicious.
I like it too.
For the ultimate kale Caesar salad, start by making whole grain croutons. Use curly leaf kale and let it soak in warm water for 10 minutes. Make a dressing with mayonnaise and plain yogurt, along with the classic flavorings of Parmesan garlic and anchovies. From our test kitchen to your kitchen, a trendy but terrific recipe for kale Caesar salad. Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.